Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to the final trading day of the week. It is March 28, 2025. The market did close about 45 minutes ago, so a little bit later starting recording this video simply because I've already recorded another video. That video was motivated by a comment, which I did discuss in another video in relation to growth and quality being completely different metrics. And technically, that is right. They are completely different metrics. But I think the reason behind that comment is trying to suggest that growth is not important when it comes to quality, which I completely disagree with. In fact, I consider growth, revenue growth, to be highly important in distinguishing between quality, high quality companies and low quality companies. So I'll release that video within the next 2 days. Have to do a little bit of editing. Those sort of videos, I do stop and start. These ASX Daily Rundown videos, I record straight through. No stopping and starting, very little editing unless I am disturbed during the recording. So these videos are fairly easy edited. Anyway, so look out for that video within the next few days. And the agenda for today's video, we'll talk about the best and worst performing companies on the ASX, also sectors and indices. Then we'll have a look at the top 5 stocks of the day. A fairly quiet day on the market in terms of announcements, but I have come up with 5 companies that are listed on the ASX. If I did have a fallback plan, if I couldn't find 5, if I had to use that backup plan, it was Ford, GM, and Tesla. And what happened in the last 24, 36 hours? 25% tariffs on imported vehicles into the United States. And you might expect that would help Ford and GM. It did not. In fact, I read yesterday that Ford and GM were completely against these 25% tariffs in the United States, and GM share price dropped 7%. And I thought these tariffs would help Tesla. It did not. Share price up slightly. So interesting trading for those 3 companies. But I do have 5 ASX companies and that I can talk about when I get to the top 5 stocks of the day. And then at the end of the video, I'll discuss Mesoblast. There was a question from Dev Shaw in regards to not understanding the drop in Mesoblast price. Share price down again for Mesoblast, although the share price is at an interesting level. Now on to the ASX today. And a better than expected day. We had a weak lead in from Wall Street. Dow Jones down about 0.3%, NASDAQ down about 0.5%. Our futures were down about 0.1%, and we did open down. Apart from mining, that opened up, which is understandable because a really good day for gold and silver was expected. Silver was up 2.5% yesterday, and I have no doubt when we have a look at the best performing companies, we'll see a few gold companies, maybe quite a few gold companies and quite a few silver companies as well. But we did open down, and then we had a rally in the first few hours. So it ended up being a pretty good day apart from tech. Not sure why tech is down 1.63%, but it is down. And that means, probably means WiseTech had a pretty bad day, maybe Aristocrat, REA Group, all those sort of companies. Okay, so let's have a look at the best and worst performing sectors and indices, and a fairly bifurcated market, which I expected. A really good day for staples and energy, up over 0.75%, and also a pretty good day for telecommunications, financials, and industrials. But on the flip side, a really bad day for real estate and IT. Healthcare also down 0.42%. Now, just by looking at this, I could almost guess the companies that are down on the or in the ASX 20, maybe not all of them. So I have no doubt WiseTech is down, no doubt Goodman Group is down, possibly CSL is down because healthcare is down 0.42%. What else might be down? Maybe REA Group, Aristocrat. So maybe 6 or 7 companies down. ASX 20 was actually up 0.34%. So let's have a look at the ASX 20, see if I am right. I have no doubt 3 of those companies are down. So 5 companies down. So let's try to guess which 5 companies these are. So WiseTech, Goodman Group, maybe CSL, maybe Aristocrat, REA Group. Okay, so let's have a look. Pro Medicus used to be in the ASX 20, no longer, so definitely would have been my pick. So let's have a look, see how right I am. Well, there's WiseTech and Goodman Group. Very confident about those 2 companies. Fortescue, yeah, missed that one. And then REA Group and Aristocrat. And CSL up slightly. Yeah, so I did a pretty good job there, I think. And the best performing companies in the ASX 20, QBE, go QBE. I'm actually trading QBE, so very happy with that. And we also have Telstra, Woolworths, and Wesfarmers, and Transurban. You'll probably consider some of those companies to be quite defensive. So I'm thinking Telstra defensive, Woolworths defensive, maybe an argument in regards to Wesfarmers. Definitely Transurban is defensive. So a bit of defensive playing going on today. All those companies up by over 1%, which is interesting. I'm not sure why Rio Tinto's up, but Fortescue is down. That's interesting as well. Okay, now let's turn attention to the top gainers. Best performing company by percentage change today is a company called Renerve, up 31.82%. They did release something. Now, this is a recent listing on the ASX, and it's more of a story stock than anything else. I did have a look at their Appendix 4C they released in January. Very little receipts. I think maybe 32,000. So more of a story stock than anything. I believe they're into the nerve repair, or regeneration, that sort of thing, which is very exciting. And so we really hope that Renerve does succeed and even exceed in what they're trying to do. Small company, market $15.87 million. I'm just going to have a look at the, by the way, this announcement from Renerve was to do with, clinical outcome demonstrates material benefit for patients. Share price up 26%. But if you have a look at the chart, I did have a look at the chart just before I started recording. So company has been listed in November. Share price had fallen a fair bit since then. In fact, the share price halved, and then we just had this, nice volume coming in today, nice pop-up in share price. But I have no doubt a lot of the people who did invest in this company near or around the IPO level, about 20 cents, they were probably getting out of this company or trying to get out of the company today. Share price reached a high of 22 cents. And when the share price got to 22 cents, I think there was a rush for the doors. And that's why the share price fell all the way back to 14.5 cents. So no big surprise. In fact, the share price almost closed near the low of the day, which is a little bit concerning. So a lot more selling pressure than what you would like for a potential breakout. So even though this is a story stock and I'm not that interested, I just want this company to succeed because we all want nerve damage to be healed or fixed. Anyway, back to the top gainers. Strickland Metals, share price up 22.5%, closed at 9.8 cents. Pretty big volume. I don't think this company released anything today. Let's have a look. Fifth drill rig commences exploration at Rogozna. It was market sensitive. It's not the sort of announcement that I'll get excited about, but the market did get excited. So let's have a look at the chart. Is this a potential breakout? Share price just below 10 cents. So that's a very important level, psychological level. And the share price has been below 10 cents since October. So this is, it could be heading in a good direction for Strickland Metals. So says 10 cents here. It's got 9.8 cents here. Why is it different? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. So before the closing auction, no. Why? Oh, this probably hasn't updated. I wonder if this hasn't updated. Let's go back. It's wrong. You're wrong, market index. Yeah, there it is. It updated. I don't know why. It doesn't update sometimes. So it did close at 10 cents. So it's a very important psychological level. Would I trade this? Probably not. You can see how much sellers there are at 10 cents. And it does take a bit of work for that to overcome. Even at 10.5 cents, a lot of selling or a lot of trades or bids or sell bids have been put in there. So a lot of work to overcome. And you can see not much shares above 9 cents, even 9.1 cents. So a lot of room for this share price to be quite volatile over the next few days. Okay, let's turn our attention back to top gainers. Black Cat Syndicate. Share price up 20%. Not sure what's going on there. Could be just gold. I did have a quick look to see if the company did release anything, and they did not. They released something a few days ago. It was the announcement they did release a few days ago. It sounded pretty good. Cal East Boundary mining commenced ahead of schedule, and the share price did not really do much. So let's have a look at the chart for Black Cat Syndicate, a company I do like, by the way, because they're into production, looks like. And it's a beautiful chart. Oh, and not only that, look at the volume. In fact, the volume reached a long-term high today. So this is an absolutely stunning chart for Black Cat Syndicate. Not sure why I'm burping. I haven't drunk any for ages. Anyway, maybe it's just because I'm talking. Who knows? I don't know how burping works. Well, I sort of do, but yeah, not a burping expert. DXN, that's interesting. I haven't really been following DXN lately. I just want to see if their business model does work. They do these modular, what do you call them, data centers. Share price up 16.7%, but a fairly low turnover. So let's have a quick look at the chart just to see if it's looking interesting. But I think not, because the share price is fairly low. Oh, yeah. Well, should get rid of that. I was trading this, and then I got out, and hopefully you can see why I got out. So I haven't been following this for a while because I got the sell signal about 5 months ago, and the share price did get down to 2.5 cents. So anyway, top gainers by market cap. Gentrack had a good day. Black Syndicate. And then we got silver. Yeah, silver. Andean silver, silver mines. I'm pretty sure silver prices were up about 2 to 3% yesterday. In fact, let's have a look at silver, because silver was close to breaking out. Is this breaking? Ooh, silver is breaking out. Go silver. Oh, go silver. I like this chart now. I like gold, but I like silver now. I've been liking copper. Oh, copper's pulled back. Interesting. So really, some really nice charts for gold, silver, and copper. A little bit weaker, but silver breaking out. And that's it. Yeah, there's nothing else there I want to talk about. Okay, now on to the top losers. And fun enough, these three top losers, Orora, Haranga, Ecograph, I've talked about these three companies in the past week or so. They've all, let's have a look at all three charts. Orora, share price popped up a few days ago and pulled back. So these three companies are going to have a lot of volatility, and day traders love this. So 2 really good days in a row, and now a pretty bad day for Orora. It's pulled back. Could be a nice little maybe not buy the dip, but buy the volatility here with this dip. But the share price could fall a fair bit further from here. The other one was Haranga or something. Haranga. This one, yeah, ripped higher on Tuesday. Nice couple of days. I like this. I like that sort of pattern, and then down today. Not big volume coming in today. And the other one was Ecograph. What was it? Ecograph. Ecograph. This one, no interest in, because of the, what do you call it? The exponential rise in share price. And whenever you see this exponential rise in share price, eventually the share price is going to collapse. Don't know when. And we saw the start of the collapse yesterday. Share price dropped, what was it, 25%, 21%, and it's dropped another 72% today. This could fall another 30% over the next few days. Don't know. It could bounce from here. But I'd probably get a little bit more interested in this one if the share price dropped to, say, 23, 24 cents. But other than that, no interest in this company just yet. But it's really interesting that the three top losers today are companies that are showing a little bit of volatility because of good announcements or share price going exponential. Other than that, nothing much here. Yep, nothing much there. So let's move on to the top losers by market cap. Light & Wonder is in my top 5. And I'll also talk about Mesoblast when we go to the comment section part of the video. Thank you, Dev Shaw. And Orora is also in my top 5. Vista Group, low volatility, low turnover there, so I can move on. Chalice Mining, isn't that gold exploring company? Share price down 9%. Please explain, as Pauline Hanson would say. No idea. Did they release anything today? No. I don't know what's going on there. This company popped up on my trading list. When was it? Yeah, quite a few months ago. No, that's the wrong one. That's the China Fund. I was going to say, that's an interesting chart, but Chalice Mining. Oh, it popped up on my list. Too much volatility. It looks like it's trading in a range right now. I don't know what happened today, but something caused the share price to drop 9%. If you know, I'd love to hear about it, and I'm pretty sure everyone else would like to hear about. Synlait Milk, yeah, I've got out of that trade, down 6.5% today. Anything else here? 29 Metals, well, that's copper. Aries Resources, copper. Copper's a little bit weak. And Royal Biosurgery, ARX. Haven't looked at this one for a while. How's this going? Share price looks like it's, geez, it's fallen a lot from that trend killer. So we saw Zip yesterday, trend killer. Here we have another trend killer. Share price down 24% on the 29th of January. Beautiful trend killer, one-day candlestick. And from there, share price has dropped another 25%. And the chart looks pretty bad. Although, you could probably say with Orora by surgery, no, long term the share price is down too, in a downtrend. And that's it. Which means, let's have a look at the top 5 stocks of the day. And coming in at number 5 is a late inclusion, Orora. No, not Orora by surgery, Orora, which is a packaging company. Share price down 8.4%. And the reason why is because of this announcement at 3:24 p.m. Orora, French Competition Authority. And I'll show you the 1-minute chart, and this definitely caused the share price to plunge. And when I say plunge, I'm being a little bit overly dramatic. But for a company like this, a drop of the share price in 8% is quite dramatic. So maybe I'm not being overly dramatic. Anyway, so the French government or whatever, competition authority, has just mentioned that they are reviewing potentially anti-competitive practices allegedly engaged in by participants in the French beverage glass container industry in the period prior to Orora's acquisition of Sabre Glass. So that Sabre Glass office was visited in France by the French or the FCA. And that's why the share price is down. Again, risk, uncertainty, risk. Market doesn't like that. We have a look at the chart, the 1-minute chart for Orora. I always want to call Orora biosurgery, Orora. You can just see the share price plunge, 1-minute chart. We'll go back to the daily chart and look at that. So what time was it released? So 3:24 p.m., which means that's 2:24 p.m. my time. And typically when a company goes into or releases a market or price-sensitive announcement, which is highlighted by or notified by this bell symbol in ComSec, and that means the company shares are put into an automatic trading halt for, I think it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes. And actually, I can confirm this in a second. So that means the shares start trading at either 234 or 239. So let's have a look. 234 or 239. They start trading at 234. So it says 235 here, but that's the minute from 234 to 235. And in that first minute, share price dropped 5.3% and just kept on falling. You can see the pretty big volume as well. So for these type of announcements that are released during trading, you have to pay attention all day. And a lot of times I miss them. Anyway, so I didn't miss this one because the share price was down a fair bit. And this is the chart. It's an ugly looking chart. So I have no interest in Orora. And by the way, the last time the share price was this low was back in 2015. So we're at a 10-year low for Orora. Maybe the market is overreacting. I don't know. Anyway, that's Orora. Coming in number 5. Coming in number 4, we have a company I have heard, but I've never looked at. Gowing Brothers. Hands up, who knows what this company does? Well, I sort of know now because I had a look. I wouldn't say a big look. I have this in my LIC fund watch list. And I just decided to have a closer look because they did release half-year report today, or last night, 5:22 p.m. And because nothing else was released today, I had time to go through this, much more than I usually would. So this is the benefits of releasing your half-year or full-year outside of everyone else. It gives everyone time to go through it. The first thing I noticed when I went through Gowing Brothers is how long they've been in existence. Investing together for a secure future, established 1868, 157 years of trading. I was like, whoa. So yeah, it's a big company. And their offices are in Coffs Harbour. So not Sydney, not Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth. Their offices are in Coffs Harbour. So as soon as I saw that, 157 years of trading and offices in Coffs Harbour, I went, oh, I'm going to take it or pay a little bit more attention to this company. So it does seem like they invest in other companies. They also have assets as well. I'm pretty sure they own the major supermarket mall in Coffs Harbour. I forget what it's called. I do go there on occasion, not a lot, because I don't live there, but I have been there before. And they also own some shopping centres in Sawtell. So these are all towns in that Coffs Harbour area. So they're really focused in Coffs Harbour. They also own some other assets like Gowing Surf Hardware International. Never heard of that before. So I don't know what sort of hardware is associated with surfing. Is that just surfboards? That's not hardware. I don't know. Anyway, so that's all about Coffs Harbour. Or they also own something in Port Macquarie as well. So Gowing's Port Central. What's the one called in Coffs Harbour? I forget what it's called. They own, Gowing Surf Hardware, Sawtell Commons. They have a dividend. And they do have all their assets listed somewhere here because I went through it. Here we go. So this is all their assets. They have a substantial investment in Cobram Estates Olives. So if maybe a way to play this is if you really like Cobram, maybe buy Gowing instead. I don't know. They also have this Surf Hardware International, Carlton Investments, Power Pollen Accelerated Ag Technologies. Now we're getting fairly low investments here. Symbix, EFT Shore, Woolworths, De Grey Mining, Evolution Mining, Wholesale Investor, Tasmanian Oyster Company, and then the one that just went, whoa, they have an investment in SpaceX. Yes, this company has an investment in SpaceX. If you want to buy shares in SpaceX, maybe buy shares in Gowing's Brothers, because here it is, SpaceX. Not a lot, but they have an investment in SpaceX. Anyway, so yeah, Coffs Central, that's what it's called, Coffs Central. Yeah. Gowing's Port Central. They go through all the investments, by the way, here. It's actually a really good read. Talk about strategic investments, seller allocation, consumer staples, Cobram Estates, going through Carlton Investments, Woolworths, some of the unlisted investments like Power Pollen, what that is. There was an interesting one here called Surf Lakes Global, providing waves on lakes. Who would have thought of that? Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Surf lakes is exactly what it sounds like. A lake you can surf on. So there's something in the middle of the lake and it's just sort of like a pump and it produces waves you can surf on. Whoa, with a prototype surf park in Yeppoon. This is a US-based company, by the way. Yeah, moved to become a US-based company, listed as a Delaware corporation. And then EFT Shore, Tasmanian Oyster Company, and there's SpaceX. And then Symbix. Yeah, so interesting read. I probably would never have read this if it wasn't such a quiet day. Let's have a look at the chart for Gowing Brothers. And this is the weekly chart, and nothing much of interest here. Actually, one thing I did note, looking at this chart, this go back 20 years, it goes up and down in trends. And in fact, have a look at the weekly moving average crossovers. There's only been 1 to 5 in the past 20 years. So if you could buy and sell based off that, you probably do make a fair bit of money out of this. So right now it's in a downtrend, so you wouldn't be holding this right now based off this. But yeah, not a long-term hold, and just buy and sell based off the moving average crossover, because it doesn't happen all that often. Okay, so that's Gowing Brothers coming in at number 4. Coming in number 3, we have Block. They changed the tick code from whatever it was. What was it? I forget what it was. They've changed it to XYZ. Actually, I'm not a big fan of that because they've changed it now twice. Now, share price down 3.92%. I'm pretty sure XYZ, I think they did change the tick code in America as well. Yeah, they changed the tick code in America. That's probably why. Share price down. Wait there, I've got the wrong one here. Is that right? XYZ. So share price in Australia down 3.92%. Based off TradingView, share price here down 3.49%. Oh, I was going to say they're not the same number. There we go. Anyway, so one of the reasons why the share price of Block is down, well, overall weakness in tech, but also they laid off a lot of people. Yeah, they laid off a lot of people. I actually did Google this before. Yeah, Block layoffs, Block cuts, 8% of staff citing strategy and performance issues, etc., etc. They even gave reasons and how many people were laid off because of this reason. For example, 390 people were laid off because of strategic reasons. 460 people were laid off because they want to eliminate workers who perform below company standards. And they laid off 80 managers as it tries to flatten its organization. Now, a lot of times when a company lays off a lot of people, the share price actually goes up, because a lot of times it's actually beneficial for the company, particularly if they're laying off managers. I'm really sorry if you're a manager, but I don't have the highest opinion of some managers. I'll say that, some managers. And I do think there's a lot of, in some organizations, there's way too many managers. I'm thinking of one organization in particular because I work for them, way too many managers. And in fact, a particular director of this organization I work for, when they came into their role, said, we want to get rid of red tape, and the red tape has significantly increased, and the amount of managers has significantly increased. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of too many managers, put it that way. There are some really good managers out there. But anyway, I really like it when managers are laid off. Hopefully you're not one of them. Anyway, so that's why share price of Block is down. Well, maybe one of the reasons. I actually did expect the share price to be up upon this news, but it's down. And let's have a look at the chart. Let's have a look at the chart in Australia. Now, let's have a look at the chart on New York Stock Exchange. They're going to be fairly similar. We'll have a look at the daily chart. And the share price has plunged. So they must have released something bad upon the quarterly, back on the 21st of February. Share price dropped 17.7% on the day. And you probably could also say that's a trend killer. Although just before that, the trend wasn't that positive. But yeah, the share price has dropped a fair bit since then. So not the best looking chart for Block. And when it comes to Block, sometimes I have a high opinion of this company. Sometimes I have a low opinion. So I'm like, umming and ahhing about Block. And I've been doing that ever since I discovered it, probably 5-6 years ago. Coming in at number 2, we have Incitec Pivot. This is an interesting one because this was an almost trade for me not that long ago, and that trade would have gone awfully if I did participate in it. They had a change of segment reporting and business update. It did not sound good, and I thought the share price would be down even more, but I think maybe the market expected this. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to go through this, but there was a nice, where did I see it? There was a nice little write-up somewhere. I don't think it was in Capital Brief. It was somewhere else. Now, maybe it was Capital Brief. Incitec flags weather hit on earnings. And yeah, it actually was this one. And I'm the biggest fan of companies that can be significantly affected by weather. And it seems like this is one of those companies because they mentioned weather, and that's the reason why this was a slightly negative outlook. So Incitec said significant rainfall in Queensland had impacted first half volumes for its Dyno Noble explosives business. And separately, persistent dry conditions. So they don't like too much rain. They don't like not enough rain. Persistent dry conditions in the southern states, along with recent cyclonic conditions in Queensland and northern New South Wales, had caused farmers to delay fertiliser dispatches, it said. Combined with supply disruptions at its Phosphate Hill site, this would result in an earnings split of 10% in the first half and 90% in the second half. Anyway, shares were down nearly 5% initially, but the share price did recover, only down 1.49%. So let's have a look at the chart for Incitec Pivot. And I just mentioned this was almost a trade for me. So back between about May of last year and around November, the chart actually started to look good. I did put this breakout line at about 320, and it tried to get above that line. It really tried. This was back in November, and it failed. So this did not or was not a trade because it failed to get above that area or that zone. And you can see what happened after that. The share price then plunged and has continued to fall. We had a moving average crossover start of January. So that would have been a sign for me to get out if I did buy some shares as a trade in this. Definitely not a high quality company. Definitely not a long-term hold. Just have a look at the long-term chart here. Yeah, this is the sort of chart even trading this, it's not a trade. It doesn't oscillate much. So over the last 15 years, the low has been $1.50 and the high has been about $4.50. And that low of $1.50, yeah, that's about it. So typically the low is about $2.50, high is about $4.50. So not much range in trading for this company. So yeah, so for me, not a high quality company, not a long-term hold, and very rarely a trading company as well. Coming in at number 1, we have Light and Wonder, down 7.14%. You might notice nothing here, no announcements. I did get an email Light and Wonder. There is a law class action against this company. See if I can find it. News. I'm shocked that I can't class action. I'm shocked it's not part of the news because I did get an email about this. No. Maybe this was already announced. Anyway, I did get an email in regards to a class action suit against Light and Wonder because there was a belief that they weren't fully disclosing some information. If we have a look at the chart, you'll notice that the share price of this company fell a fair bit a few months ago. Where is it? And I think the reason I got an email is because I am a shareholder of this company. So share price dropped on the 24th of September by 18.4%. And that is because they weren't allowed to use one of the machines because it was too similar to Aristocrat's machine or something like that. And the lawsuit just mentioned that they should have been across this and they should have disclosed this information to the shareholders, and a lot of people lost money. But I was thinking, well, the only reason you lost money is if you sold on that day. Or a few days after, because the share price reached an all-time high not that long ago. Anyway, so share price did drop 7% on this day. So it's really interesting. If they didn't release this this class action, share price probably wouldn't have dropped all that much today. Anyway, so that's why share price of Light and Wonder is down 7%, is because of this class action against the company. And yeah, this is a long-term hold for me because I do think this company has a lot of potential over the next 10 years or so. I don't know if I consider it to be high quality just yet. Okay, Dev Shaw says, I still don't understand the drop in Mesoblast price. I still recall after FDA phase 3 trial approval, you did mention that from this point, it will be just an upward journey from Mesoblast, why people are selling it off. Now, share prices don't go up in a straight line. I do think this de-risks the company. It definitely de-risks the company, but they still have to prove that they can sell, what's it called, rye and seal, to the point where they can become cash flow positive. So that's a very important point for me. Now, for me, it was still a trading stock, so I've gotten out of Mesoblast because the share price fell a fair bit. But where the share price is right now, at just above $2, is a really interesting level. So the most important thing here is the share price doesn't move up in a straight line. And Mesoblast their share price has been significantly higher not that long ago. So over the last 5 years, share price has been significantly higher than this. So you're going to see a lot of volatility in this one. I still would consider Mesoblast to be a trading stock. I'd say a lot of day traders would like this at times. And if you have a look at this particular chart, this is a daily chart over the since 2024. The share price has increased significantly since then. And don't forget, we have seen a lot of weakness in the markets in the past month or so. And so naturally, share price of Mesoblast has pulled back. What's another company? I'm going to show you Neuron Pharmaceuticals. And you won't see the volatility in this one. Oh, you do. So I bought this one at 320 back when they did have successful phase 3 trials. It was not FDA approval. But even when they did receive FDA approval, I'm just guessing it was start of March when the share price took off. You can see at times just after, the share price pulled back a fair bit. So share price went to a high of $15, and at one point share price pulled back 33%. So maybe they received FDA approval here. I forget when, but you can see a lot of volatility in the share price of a company, even when they do receive FDA approval. And I think a lot of other factors are at play with Mesoblast right now. So it's overall weakness in the market, maybe some profit taking because the share price has increased a fair bit over the last few years. And even though share price has pulled back a fair bit, it's still not a lot because of where the share price has come from start of 2024. So yeah, actually 1 month ago is when the share price broke out. One year ago is when the share price broke out. So 1 year ago, the share price was below 50 cents. So yeah, share price has quadrupled. So this sort of price action is not surprising. Now, if the share price goes below $2, that would be a concerning sign. I have thought buying some shares at $2, expecting the bounce. But we did see a bounce off $2 and the share price went to $2.30. So not a big bounce. So interesting point where Mesoblast share price is right now. The best things that happen to Mesoblast is really good financial news. So maybe they've just started selling rice and seal, rye on seal in the United States. Maybe some sort of update, how that is going. Because they've already announced how much they're selling it for, so you could put two and two together. Anyway, so don't expect the share price of a company to go up in a straight line when it releases really good news. It won't. Okay, that's all I have for today's video. As the rain starts to pelt down outside, if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.